Hello and welcome. Bret here with ClickMill.co. In this course, we are going to be going over an in-depth training on the marketing funnel. Now, in this video, I want to talk about just the most basic thing that we can talk about in marketing as we get into the marketing funnel, and that is what is marketing and why do you need it for your ministry or Christian business? Okay, so marketing, the definition of this is bringing a product or service to the market. And now I want to go backwards in time and think of this even from maybe a biblical perspective. How was marketing done in the time of King David or in the time of Jesus in the first century? Marketing was done, and how do I say this? The products and services were sold at the city gates. Now, I've actually had the privilege of going to Israel and actually seeing some of these ancient cities and seeing when you walk into the city, right there at the city gates, there's like a big area, like a town center, except it's not the center. And that's where the elders would sit. That's where people would decide how the community ran. That's where the stalls were set up, and everything was sold in the same place. So if you think about it, that was your Walmart, that was your Amazon, that was your app store. Everything that existed could just be sold in one place. And so marketing, which is the act of taking a product or service to the market, was your cart. You stuck your grain on there, you stuck the eggs from your chickens on there, and you wheeled it over and set up your stall. So moving your things that you were going to sell to the market, or if you have services, moving yourself to the market to sell your services, that was marketing. So of course, marketing wasn't a field of study back then because you didn't need to know how to take your products or services to the market. You could just walk. And that's all you had to do. You'd go out your house and you'd walk a block and you'd be there. So marketing has become an entire area of specialty because as industry has developed and cultures and markets have developed and financial markets, there's a market for everything. There's a gajillion markets. There's a market for movies, right? We call that Netflix, but then there's 10 of those. And there's a market for apps, except, there's at least two, if not more, operating systems, Apple and Android, and there's a market for those. And there are websites for marketing digital products. Here you are. How did I get you here? I marketed. And everybody's on a different place. So if I want to go and I want to take my products or services to the market, now there's not a little town where I go and I take my things either. There's a Facebook, and I've got to know, should I go out there, or a YouTube or an Amazon, or like there's all these places now that I can go to. And it's not obvious which one you should show up at. And this is why, if you've ever wondered why your ministry or your business is just running 100 miles an hour and you're doing all of these things and you're doing advertising and SEO and social media marketing and YouTube videos, and you've got all these, let's say, sermons, and you got 1,000 sermon videos out there and nobody ever watches them. The question is, well, how do we do all this work and not get any results? And it's because the way in which the marketing is happening isn't effective, or it's not as effective as it could be. And so we're going to get into some of the reasons that happens in this course. So marketing is now very complicated because there are so many markets, and we need to know which market to take our product and service to and how to get to them in the most efficient means. If you don't have to pull a cart and you can drive a race car, let's do that. So that's marketing. And marketing is especially important for ministry leaders. In many cases, when I talk with ministry leaders, they're not aware that they need marketing because, well, we don't sell a product or a service. You do actually have a product or a service. We have something called a Sunday service or a men's group, which is a service that serves men in their, movement toward Christ and their sanctification and their walk with God. Ministry leaders serve the people in their congregations. And so how do we get that service to people is question one. The second question is, do they need that service? Because if you get it to them over and over and over, your marketing might be working well, and they're just telling you, we don't want to buy or commit to whatever you have. So marketing is very important for ministry leaders and pastors. It's also, of course, very important for Christian business people. And this is very common with Christian industries that border with the church. So, for example, a church that has a Christian counseling arm. And a lot of times they'll say, well, it's not, it's not a business, it's a ministry. And that can really hurt us because if we don't realize it's a business, we may not also realize it needs marketing or it has to be profitable in some way. And so this is also true as Christian schools. Well, it's a ministry, so we don't need marketing. Well, ministries have a service, so ministries need marketing. And also, it functions like a business because we're selling a service in that case. And so we do need to have marketing for both ministries and businesses. And again, as we continue, we're going to be going into the marketing funnel, what it is, how it works, and you're going to be able to see how this is going to start mapping onto your ministry or Christian business as we continue. So I'll look forward to seeing you in the very next video where we're going to get started. God bless.